wait just a minute. See as how I'm not going to paint this engine right here. It's got some original green paint on it. Use a little diesel fuel there, wash it down. That way you can see what you get. And we'll clean the inside of that crankcase out there now. Might as well to here on the east coast of Arkansas. Might as well to get up to date on this 1920. I just washed it down. I'll show you what I used. That big old aluminum pan right here. Put this engine in that aluminum pan. It fits right in there. And then I washed this whole engine, turning it upside down every which way. Washed it down with diesel fuel. Saved the diesel fuel that was in the pan, put it in the bucket there. Burned a brush pile up there in Middle Tennessee with that used up diesel fuel. We are going to leave this engine in the condition it's in. The reason being is simply because it has so much original green paint left on it. Quite a bit. This would be a very, very good candidate for boiled linseed oil, but I think not. I think I'll just leave it as this and let it take on whatever appearance that it takes on. Pretty much the only thing I've done is washed away all the dirt, grease, and this is what was left. The bottom, where the gas tank was, is equally as clean as the inside. I will coat the inside there with something, and also the bottom I will paint. I'll tell you something. One of the questions was how to clean these round areas in there, and these brushes, you get them over there to clean whatever. I think they're over in the solder department in most hardware stores. But if you use it straight like that, you can't get against anything, especially when the end of it wears off. So what you do is take the pliers and you bend that thing to where you get a rounding surface, and then you can go in there and clean against. You have a round brush. Just a little shop tip there. Also, the other tool, this is all the tools that was used in cleaning this. A little 1-inch brush, a putty knife, a couple of those scrapers, and a little X-Acto knife with a half-round blade, and the old worn-out, ever so popular wire brush. Also, the tool that was used, the greater percentage of it, is this. We've talked about this before in one of the past videos, but you can scrape a round surface with that file right there. If we may add, you're probably wondering how come this old rusty block is over here. Well, I have already broken down the electrolysis tank. I broke that tank down a couple of days ago. I have been using that tank with the same washing soda that you can look back on a video to where backwards to when we set that tank up. It's been a good while ago, and the only thing I have done to it is added water to it. In the hot days, it's easily, if with the tank in the sunlight, to add a gallon of water according to how much material is in the pieces of rusty metal it's in the tank. So broke that down and getting it ready for the move. That move is coming together day by day. Will be an update on that. But in the meantime, I'm carrying on here in the shop in order to get something accomplished and to get some engines put together. I've got several projects, and don't let me mislead you in any way that any of the projects that we have got going, and I'm going to start I'm going to start another project that hopefully I will get finished before I move some of the other stuff out of the shop. So there will be a video coming up maybe next on that project. And but see, a little piece of metal right there was bent over on that piece of pipe. When you see something like that, get it off of there. Don't put it off. And the reason this little thing is out here, that's a 1/2 inch pipe right there. Screws in that block right there. And back up. Whoa, back up. The reason this old rusty block is out here is this is a 19 and 18. I have everything to put this engine together. Understrike engine. So this is the tag brass, and it would have been right there on the crankcase. The hopper was never drilled for a tag. And if you've been watching the videos from here on the east coast of Arkansas for a while, you know that when I pretty much start on an engine, I like to start with a bare block. So I went on ahead and took that. This is the tag that was on this block. So at this point in time right here, it's one piece. There is absolutely nothing on this block except a bare casting. This is the tag that was on it. I do have a new one. I'll show it to you. Now there it is. Done already put the same number in yet and all. So this, when we put the engine back together, and this will be the first part we probably put on it, the new name tag, which you can read. And this one here will go in the paperwork confirming that it is the correct number. All the information is identical on the two tags. And this one, like I say, was a brass tag on the original engines. The reason I'm making a point of this is this 1/2 inch pipe that goes in the back of the block. If I can remember it, the question on Harry's old engine website, recommend that site heartily for old engine information. Harry's old engine, look it up, spend some time up there, learn something. One of the threads of our question and answer part of that, someone had wrote in that they had this oddball breather that goes here on the end of this pipe that had 4 bolts in it. Normally it would be a 2-bolt breather, and I'm not going to bring the breathers out here today. That will be a workbench video to explain the breathers. We went through that pretty much already, except the 4-bolt type. I don't think I've ever talked about that. And we got one. We'll compare the two of them. And also, do not be confused that they were only 2 breather assemblies. There was also from the factory an engine with the 3/8 pipe that did not have a breather. It had a 90 on it. Was what was all that came on that engine from the factory. So you could actually have 3 different types of breathers. This being the 2-bolt, and there was a 4-bolt, and then there was a L-bolt. The 4-bolt, if I can remember, that 4-bolt, I think it was a 1797 T number, 1797 maybe. And this engine right here being a 1918 would not have had the 4-bolt breather on it. The 4-bolt breather was only on 1 year, 19 and 19. It was on the 1.5, the 3, and the 6 horsepower engines in the kerosene designation. If you look it up in the book, it don't show it was on the gasoline. And in a way, they got these tags here, kerosene and gasoline. So there is a little bit of history if you're actually documenting and having the correct parts on the engines. If this engine right here had the 4-bolt on it, it wouldn't be correct. You wouldn't want it on there. It would be no value to you. The only person that would want the 4-bolt breather is if you had a 19 and 19 engine. So the book, the international book, if you look that number up, the 1797 I think it is, if you look that up, then it will show the 2-bolt, which was a 9249 T number. 9249 was the 2-bolt. And if you look up the earlier one, the 19, in the book, then it will show a replacement for that one with the different number. At that point, you would have had to use an adapter. I hope I got that right. Let's put a disclaimer up there. Let's put this aside, and I'm going to paint the inside of this crankcase and the bottom right there and set it aside to dry while that we'll wash down them side covers and get that crankshaft ready to go in there. We got the cart built. Let me add that we've already got the cart finished for this engine to go on. Turned out kind of nice. Upcoming video from here on the East Coast, Arkansas. Shot Dog Sam.